I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on me. I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad.
What up, everyone? This is your guest, your host, Mr. 35 himself, Mr. 35 here. Let me change the background. Again, I am coming here live from the 35 studio here in my home. Today, people, we have a legend on this show. He is a quarterback guru. We're gonna talk about many quarterbacks. He started and he's training. All right. I'd like to introduce you to this legend, Coach Mike. How you doing, Coach? Let's see. He's coming on. Coach, how you doing? Let's see. Let's see. How you doing,
I'm
Coach?
here. I'm good, man.
Man, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. All the young guys, like, man, whoo, you got a quarterback coach? Half of them can't play quarterback anyway. I'm just saying, Coach.
Right on.
Right on. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm real good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I'm so thankful. And the young people who follow the show, the young players, they're all excited, man. They're all excited to hear.
Well, that's great. That's cool.
So
Happy to do it.
Thank you. So how's the weather over there where you at?
About 74 today, 75. So real nice. Can't complain. It's gonna get hot though. About another 2 months, starts to get pretty bad. We get in the high 100s for, but hey, we'll take it right now. Take it all we can get.
If I could take some of your heat, I moved from Mississippi to Toledo, and I tell you what, man, it is.
Oh yeah.
Freezing.
I know, man.
Freezing. Oh my goodness.
No, thank you. I just got done training all day today. A bunch of guys, great weather. Can't complain, man. And I'm used to the heat anyway. So when it gets hot, you get 3-4 months of it. You deal with it. It is what it is. What are you gonna do, right? It's you get used to it. So to me, it's not a big deal. But I'd rather be hot than cold. That's for sure.
Amen to that, man. I tell my wife that all the time. I would take Mississippi heat, then this Toledo cold. It only stay cold like hot for like. It started in June.
Yeah.
To August, and it started getting cold.
And it's pretty bad with that humidity back there, but you'll take it. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, everyone. Again, I got the legend. I got the man, coach of the Elite Eight. How do you say your last name, Coach? I don't want to mess it up.
Giovandos. Everybody just calls me Gio.
All right, Coach Gio.
Gio, yeah.
That? All right.
Yeah, Gio's fine. GIO, that's what I go by. Elevate QB Academy, yeah. Out here in Arizona. So that's what we got going on.
Okay. Like I said, this guy's a legend. He have coached a lot of A lot of young men that who we will get to later, but today, Coach, we talking about your journey. Let's start in high school where you started at. So what position did you actually play in high school? Did you play QB?
I grew up playing quarterback my whole life.
Okay.
I don't think I wanted to be a quarterback when I was like 8 or 9. I wanted to be a receiver or a running back, but I kind of got thrown into the position and in the middle of a game and in Pop Warner when the starting quarterback got hurt, and they said, well, the plays because you're the running back. So, and I could throw, a little, I knew how to, and the next thing I know, I'm the quarterback, and I did that for, through high school, and then and on to junior college, and then after that, so a lot of years of playing that position. So pretty familiar with it. Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you: is there any QB we would know that played, college that you played against in high school or college?
I'm old. I'm 55, man.
Oh man.
So, yeah, I'm old, man. I played back when if you threw the ball like 10 times a game, that was a lot of throwing. So, and it's true. We ran the wing tee, I think the most I ever threw the ball in one game was 22 times, and I thought that was a big deal. But I don't know, like some of the guys that, I played around, I played with guys that ended up, guys that would have been, the same era as like, oh gosh, who would have been some of those guys in the 90s, you know what I mean? That played, those kind of guys. But here in Arizona, like I said, back when I grew up in high school, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't, you didn't have a lot of Division I quarterbacks coming out, because it was a different era back then. It was a different time, and recruiting was totally different. And, I was getting recruited pretty heavily by a few schools in what was then called the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC. And then eventually, and now it's kind of the Mountain West. But that's what it is. So I had some schools that were after me, from that conference. But there was a couple guys that I played against that ended up going on to some Pac-12 schools and stuff like that. But it was different. You know what I mean? It was just a different time.
Exactly. So speaking of recruiting, Coach, how did they recruit y'all? Do they just like put your name in a paper or send you a letter or something like that?
It's crazy because coaches would call me, and I think what they would do is they would just kind of read the paper and look at stats, and you know what I'm saying, and kind of see, and I'm, kind of how, follow you a little bit through, through that way. So it's not like it is now, where it's just, it wasn't the same, it's not even close. So, when I would get a call from a coach, it was like, wow, I don't even know how you knew about me. You know what I mean? It was interesting. An interesting process back then, but so much different now. So much different.
Oh my goodness. So you say you played at junior college. What junior college did you play, Coach?
Well, see, my journey was kind of like this. So I was always torn between music and football. So my dad was a junior college football coach my whole life in Arizona at Scottsdale Community College. He started there in 1972 and retired in 2006. And he actually coached a couple other one other junior college in Arizona in between. So my mom was a piano teacher. So I was a big music person growing up. I always say music and football make the world go round, right? So they're the only two things that can fill up stadiums. People will go and see, right? I mean,
oh my goodness,
it's true. And
that's
so
true.
Out of high school, I decided to go a different route and pursue music, and I did that for about 7 years. And I got in a band and worked real hard at it for a long time, just as hard as I would have worked at sports,
Right.
We actually got a record deal when I was 23, but back then it was like, can you really trust these kind of things? And I didn't. So I remember the guy came to my mom's house with the contract, and the other four guys in the band, you know, we sit down. I'm like, I don't know if I can sign this thing, because I was the songwriter and they wanted to have all the rights to all the songs and the publishing, and that's how you make money as a musician, is, you know, through public. And I didn't sign it, and I didn't sign, and that band kind of split up. And then 2 years later, I was now 25. I went and played junior college football. So I didn't play till I was 25. And my dad was coaching at Phoenix College at the time. And I was first like, just let's see what happens. I'm gonna go out here and, you know, I don't know, I haven't picked up the ball in a long time. I ended up playing for 2 years for them. And after a torn rotator cuff and a patella tendon injury, I was like, that's enough. I turned 27, but I got it in, you know what I mean? I can look at it and say, I did it, you know, and no regrets. And do I wish I would have played football instead of music out of high school? No, never. I wouldn't change a thing. You know what I mean?
I understand.
But you know, it's not often that you know, and that you have that God blesses you with maybe both kind of talents, you know, a musical talent and a, you know, and I just felt like I better take advantage of of giving that a go. Hey. You know, I still write, I still play. I mean, that's why I kind of look like a hippie gypsy, but I mean, I'm still music's in my blood. And I'm a singer songwriter. I've been singing for 40 plus years. I've been played the piano for probably close to 47. Man. And I've made a couple records, good records too. And but just never had it. And those records that I made were just later in life. I was a much better songwriter when I was older than when I was younger, just like Tom Brady's a much better quarterback at 44. Right?
Yeah,
you know,
the wisdom, man. You
right? The wisdom, and you know, you have more things to kind of write about and reflect on, you know, and more you can, and you can take more music in and learn more. I don't know, the more the more you can learn about, you know, just chords and, you know, songs and songwriting, the better you get, just like playing a position or playing a sport. The longer you can go at it and really work at it, the better you're going to get at it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
sir.
That's kind of me in a nutshell. So once I got done with the playing at Phoenix College, I went to Arizona State, graduated, got my degree in history and secondary education, and started coaching with my dad and at some other, you know, high schools. I coached for close to 28 years of junior college and some high school football as a primarily offensive coordinator and you know, a quarterback, you know, a quarterback coach. You know, that's what I've always been. I've been a head coach at a couple high schools, but got full time into the training business probably about 6-7 years ago. I always trained quarterbacks, but I got full time into it to where it just started to take off, and just really said this was what I'm going to do, and I keep learning every day, and I try to get better at it. I'm always working at it to be the best, you know, QB, you know, coach I can be. So, you know, I'm blessed, man. That's all I can say. I'm blessed.
Coach, you are. I mean, some names that comes to mind. I mean, I'm gonna show you a couple pictures. Share a couple pictures with it, and I would like for you to tell me, okay, what would you say to these young men?
Okay.
What you can tell me about these young men. Give me one second. I'm pulling it up. Where is it?
That's a nice logo back there. I like it.
Oh, yes. I want you to tell me about that logo, how you come up with it in a second. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. All righty. There you go. Well, what can you say about this cat right here, Coach?
Oh, that's awesome, man. I was just with him this week. And very, very, very smart guy. I mean, super intelligent, 6'5", 220-pound kid. man, basically. He's a grown man. And you know what? I've had Jack since he was a 7th grader going into 8th grade. And I just remember telling him when he was a young guy that age, I said, you're going to be a dude, man. Trust in the process. You're going to be a guy. And just love him. He's just a great, he's super smart. He graduated from Purdue last May, and then decided to transfer to, actually graduated in May. Then he started his grad program there and went through the season and just decided, you know what, I need to move on. I want to go to Cal. I'm gonna get in the portal and see what happens. And ends up at Cal, which I think is a good fit for him. I got another quarterback there as well. So but he's a true freshman.
Okay.
And Jack's gonna be basically, I think this is his 5th year, and super talented guy. I mean, very cerebral, really, really nice, touch on the ball, command of the ball. I think he's going to be a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick if he gets the opportunity to do some good things at Cal and put some stuff out on the field. He's definitely a guy that I feel is going to be drafted and have an opportunity to play in the NFL. And I think he'll be around for a while because he's super smart. And I think at that next level, you gotta know X's and O's, and you gotta be able to understand and process information. And he's talented. He's a very talented guy. So I love the guy. His brother is another one that I train who started last year 5 games for University of Arizona. Will Plummer.
Yes.
Plummer brothers. Yeah, and but yeah, that's Jack was just here. He got back from spring break. He was here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we trained 4 days. We're working on some little things, working on trying to tighten his mechanics up a little bit. Okay. I'm a picky guy when it comes to throwing. And I'm just trying to, if I can give him something just minute that'll make a difference and how much faster he can get the ball out of his hand. And, if it's just the way he's holding it in his hand, just cocking the wrist in a little bit, just things like that. Those are the things that I get to share with these guys when they come down here. He'll go, he actually went to Georgia to hang out with his buddies for a few days, and then they start spring ball when he gets back next week. And then he'll be back in May for a month. But very talented guy and a really, really cool cat. You should have him on sometime. You'd probably really like talking to him. He's a cool dude.
I would love to have him on.
He'd love to do it. He'd love to do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I got another one coming up. Let's see. This guy here.
Oh, yeah. My man. Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
It's my guy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually supposed to go out to South Carolina in maybe a couple weeks and be part, go watch spring practice and work with quarterbacks a little bit. So I got a good relationship with the offensive coordinator over there. But so I've had Spence since he was 11.
Wow.
That's 10 years. Saw him as a little leaguer, saw him play a game. Somebody said, "Hey, you got to see this dude play." And this young guy. And I said, okay. So I went over and watched him. And you could just see, man, like this dude's good. This little guy's good, right? He's kind of got it. He had the moxie and, he could really throw it. And he was a really, really good player. And met his dad. And we hit it off real well. And his dad said, "Look, man, I don't want to jump around from trainer to trainer. My deal, if, you're our guy and we're going to roll with you." And I said, "Well, let's go." And we've been rolling for 10 years, and, obviously everybody that knows Spence, probably saw him on Netflix and the QB1 show. And some people are like, "Wow, was he really cocky?" And no, he was just a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid having fun with his teammates. He's the nicest, how do you want to say, most, humble, respectful guy, that you could meet, but the TV can TV reality can portray you however they want to portray you. They can make you
That
look
is
like a
true.
villain.
That is
They
true.
can make you look like a bad guy. And I always tell people, and I'm like, go back and watch every QB1 episode that there was. They did like 3 or 4 seasons. I go, there's always a good old boy, and there's always kind of the villain guy, and then there's always the kind of feel good story. Because they got to create a story.
They got
You have to. And I think Spence, there was times in the video they tried to portray him in a negative light, and that's what you get though when you agree to do a TV show. You know what I mean? And so I think he learned a lot from that and grew a lot from that. And I mean, when you have everybody watching you, every move you make, and you're a 16, 17-year-old guy, and your camera, I mean, that's man. I didn't have to deal with that. I didn't have to deal with that. And he goes and he wins the Elite 11. And that was really a cool deal. I was really proud of him. He commits to Oklahoma, and has a great year last year. And the thing I can say about Spence is the guy really he doesn't miss training, Mac. This guy gets it in. Like, he wants to be great. And I'm really happy that he had this opportunity to go through some adversity this year. And that sounds weird, but he is too, because he's grown from it. I think he realizes, areas that he needs to get better at, as a quarterback,
Right.
And was he going to get better at it at Oklahoma? I don't know. You know what I mean? And he told me, and he had a press conference not too long ago for South Carolina where he said he learned more in in a week than he learned in 3 hours than he learned in 3 years in Oklahoma. And I'm not saying that's a knock on, Lincoln Riley or anything, but,
Right.
South Carolina, they ask their quarterbacks they're a pro style. So he's getting prepared. He has 6 snaps, 6 snap counts instead of just clapping his hands to snap the ball. He's got to identify, the Mike backer for pass protection. He's got alerts. He can change the play at the line of scrimmage, just things that he wasn't, doing, at Oklahoma. And so the fact that he can go and get another year, I thought he handled last year really good when they did go with the other kid.
Right.
I have nothing negative to say about that. That happens. That's life. You what are you going to do when it happens? What are you going to do about it? So I always tell somebody, what are you going to do about it? You're going to complain, or what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Just deal with it and learn from it and get better from it. And I think that's what he did. And, once the opportunity came to get in the portal, he's like, let's go. And every school that you could think of called him, and because he's good.
He is good. He is good.
Really good. But,
good.
I mean, it was just one of those weird years at Oklahoma. And as you can now see, Lincoln Riley's not even there. Caleb's not there. So just a weird deal. And the fact that he gets another year, to learn and grow and playing the SEC, play Georgia and play some of those other teams. They play in front of 80,000 at South Carolina. It's all about football. He loves it, man. He's fired up. Yes. And just a great dude, man. Just really considerate, nice guy, and really takes the time. He doesn't, none of my guys are spoiled. These older college guys, if they're out there training, and I have a couple young guys that I want to come out and bring just so they can get around that and, see that, and train with them. They don't care. They mentor them. They love it. They're not looking for all this individual. I got to be by myself. I'm not training with anybody. These guys all train with each other. Why do you think they're so good? Because you don't get better training by yourself. You got to get around. You got to get around dudes that are better than you or push you. You know what I mean? And especially in high school, you're probably one of 2 quarterbacks on your high school team, So how do you get better when the guy behind you is not that good? You know what I mean? Well, you go train with other guys that are, and you do that on a regular basis. I'm not a real big, I want a bunch of one-on-one sessions kind of guy. I think I do a lot of one-on-one training just to help guys basically with mechanics to try to get them in the right, try to work on some things specifically. But I'm more like, once we kind of get to that point where I feel like we really got it down, and let's get around some other guys, man. Let's go out, let's go compete and throw it and get that camaraderie. And Spence and Jack, I mean, they've been training with each other for, 7-8 years. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's an awesome guy, man. I think he's gonna light it up this year. I think he's gonna do big things. So, we'll just let actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean?
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, you brought up a point that, and I wanted to ask you this. Most quarterback system, like you said, they got this one clap and they just got one read.
Right.
And you teach quarterbacks how to do these different things. Do you think when they go to the one read system, it's hurting their IQ before they go to the league or something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, because when you get to that next level, I mean, the highest level, I mean, that you got to be able to process that coverage right away. What's the defense doing? What's the front doing? Where the pressure can come from. Do I need to change the protection? Where's my hot read? Okay, do they have too many guys in the box? Is it one high, too high? We got to change the run to a pass or change the pass to a run, based on what's going on the back end and things like that. And I think when you just kind of tell the quarterback, here's the play, clap the ball, clap your hands and snap the ball. And then, if that's not there, then, you're on your own. Good luck. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I always tell my quarterbacks, I'm like, man, you need to ask a lot of questions, like ask questions like, what if this isn't there? What do I do? Because you're the one with the ball in your hand in front of 80,000 people, and you're the one that looks like a dummy, not the coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's not the coach they're watching, and unless the coach is willing to go, yeah, I had a bad game calling plays. And some guys do, some guys will, but a lot of guys, some will. I'm not saying all coaches do or don't, but that's what I'm saying. You don't want to be the ones out there flying solo, without the answer. It's like, can you imagine on Friday? Can you imagine going to class? You have a math class, and you go and you get there on Friday, and they just give you a test, and there was no prepare, and you really didn't have a lot of, how do you want to say, like pre-test, the opportunity to kind of study, or have, to kind of get the answers to the test. You just kind of got to show up and go, all right, here's your test. I mean, think about it as a quarterback. If you're not getting answers to each play, if something happens, what if this happens? Man, it's hard to play that position. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like going in blind, and then you can it kind of looks silly out there if and so I think the more you can be prepared, just like I said, they don't clap their hands in the league for a snap count. There's probably 5 or 6 different variations. They have a dead color, white 80, say go, and then they don't snap it. And everyone's like, why didn't they snap it? Because white isn't the color that they're going to snap it on. They're going to say set go, so they see what the defense is going to do something. Okay, now they see it. Now you'll get like blue 80. So blue means we're going to snap it. You know what I'm saying? And so now you kind of got an idea of what's going to happen using a dead color, or, these are things that he's getting to do now, kind of change his snap count up, and just kind of learn how to use that inflection as well. You know what I mean? To kind of get people to drop off sides, and you know what I mean? So
yeah,
cool.
Yes, sir.
You just stand back there. I get it in college. You just don't have as much time with the guys. I understand that. You don't have as much time to teach probably a lot of things because in the NFL, it's a full-time job. So
yes, sir.
What you're going to be doing full-time. I'm going to give college a little bit of a little leeway there because you don't get all those hours that you can get But I'm a firm believer in. I think you can teach more than you do sometimes. Some of the things that I see, I'm like, is that really? That's all you guys are doing? Really? But if it works, it works, right? Like Mike Leach at Mississippi State, right? I mean, he runs 15 plays, but he runs them really good. Really good. His players are really good at him. And Plummer would tell me at Purdue they'd have 300 plays. So everybody's different. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, every system is different. So, I just, I mean, if you really want to be a next level guy, I think those other things that you kind of need to, if you're not getting those lessons and reading coverages and identifying fronts and stuff like that, because you're not asked to do that. And there's a lot of programs that don't ask their quarterback to do that as much. Well, in your off time, you'd probably be wise to get with somebody that can help you with that stuff. Yeah. Your aspirations are to be an NFL guy. You know what I mean? So
I'm glad you said that, Coach. I'm glad you said that. So, like I said, this symbol behind me, could they come to you and say, Coach Mike Gio, can you help me? How would you help someone like that?
Well, we'll sit down and I'll throw them a pen and we'll get on a whiteboard and I'll say, draw me a play. Okay. Draw me the coverage that you're going to run this play against. Draw me the front. You know what I'm saying? Take me through the progression. Tell me what the protection's going to be. You know what I mean? I want you to teach me so I can get out there and run your play. And if you can't do that, then okay, let's sit down and talk about, all right, okay, so here's your play. All right, here's the front, here's the protection. Then maybe I can give some insight on, okay, here's what's going to happen based on what you're doing. This is kind of how we're going to basically look at this play or how we want to read it based on 1 high safety, 2 high safeties, 0 blitz, cover 1. We want to have answers to everything in a play, and a single play to have some answers. But I think if you can get up there and you could tell me what every guy's doing, every guy has the responsibility of all 10 guys other than yourself, and you can teach that play, then you got a shot. You know what I'm saying? You got a shot. So I think we got to see where you're at first, knowledge-wise. Right. And if we just go over basic fronts first, an odd front, an even front, an under front, an over front, and just talk about that first, right? And then talk about cover 1, cover 2, cover 0, cover 5, and go through the coverages. Because the more you know, and the more you understand what the defense is going to do or what they're trying to do, the better off the better prepared you're going to be at the snap of the ball, where you already know before the snap even happens, most likely what you're going to do with the ball. You watch a guy like a Brady and a Stafford and guys that have been playing for years now, and Rodgers. They already know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? They know where to go with the ball before it's snapped. But a young guy is not going to know that. And he's really not going to get to that point until he gets to play a lot more and see a lot more things. But hey, let's learn the game a little bit. Let's learn about coverage. Let's learn what the defense wants to do and what they're trying to do to you and what they're trying to force you to do. And I think if you can learn that kind of stuff at a young age, got a chance to be pretty good, So that's what we do. We do some whiteboard stuff for sure and we talk shop and talk about concepts, and because that's a huge part of being a quarterback. You know what I mean? Huge part. You got to be able to throw. If you can't throw, you probably can't be a quarterback, right? So, and that's important. But man, if you can't think and you can't lead, you can't play quarterback.
Okay. That's
right.
That's a good point, Coach. That's some gem. Now y'all see that, young people? If you can't lead and you can't think, you can't play quarterback. You gotta be able to throw.
I don't care how good you can throw. That's fine. Right. There's a lot of guys that can throw. You know what I mean? But can they think and can they lead? You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know. And there's guys that are good leaders and they're smart, but they don't throw very well. You know what I mean? So to have all those 3 things, the Trinity, you know, the
Yeah.
holy trinity of quarterbacking, probably. That's a special dude, right? You know?
Special dude.
Yeah.
So I never thought of it that way. You
Yeah.
just dropped something on me. You dropped knowledge on me. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, I thought I knew I
Well,
don't know nothing.
I've been at it a long time. I've been at it a long time. I've trained a lot of guys, and right now I've probably trained, we've probably trained close to 120 kids a week on a weekly basis. Yeah. And it's every day. I don't take days off. And, I've been around the world doing this. I've been to go to Switzerland and do quarterback camps. I've been to India to help start a football. I could write a book, I've been so lucky. Just to get to do this and where it's taken me and what it's taught me, I'm just so fortunate. But, that's, like I said, the longer you do something and it's your passion and it's what you do and it's what you want to be great at, the more you learn. You know what I mean? The more knowledge you gain, when you're all about it, when you're all about it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And that's
sir.
a lot of guys do what I do. And I know that they, I'm not saying I'm any better, or any of these guys, but I just kind of, the thing that's unique about me is I've coached football. I've called plays. I've been in some big games, and, I've coached some really good players, and you know what I mean? So that's another aspect of, and I played the positions, so I've coached it, played it, and now I teach it. You know what I mean? So I always say, like, if the guy you're going to see can't throw the ball, that's not a guy I would want to teach me how to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like going to a math tutor, but she's really an English teacher. I mean,
Yeah.
that don't help me. I mean,
Right.
and I'm not saying there's guys out there that aren't good coaches that, but I mean, seriously, if I'm trying to explain something or show somebody what they're doing wrong, if I can at least demo it in a way, so I could still throw a little bit, it hurts. I can still throw. We talk about that all the time, and the kids always laugh, but I'm like, it's true. I mean, if I need to pick up the ball and give you a couple examples of how it should look, then at least I can still do it, So,
You're right. Right.
And I get around people that, I work with other people that understand, movement and rotation and all the things that go into throwing. You know what I'm saying? And those are the kind of guys that I want working with my quarterbacks, because throwing is a rotational movement. You have to understand, you have to understand what it is to throw a ball and how your body should work. And, I'm pretty detailed into that kind of stuff, very, very detailed into trying to get somebody perfect. I know that sounds crazy, but
I understand. Again, people, this is Mr. Mike Gio. I'm Mr. 3-5. We talking about QB, and I'm telling you, people, he is dropping knowledge, nuggets. He is in the gold mine. This is the man. If you have any questions, I got my first question is from a young man from Alcorn. He's saying that, is it foot placement, or is it, how can he get more velocity on his ball through? Is it his footwork or is it weights?
Well, you know what? First of all, you got to learn how to throw a punch. So I would go to a gym, I would go somewhere, and I would get with somebody that could teach me how to throw a punch, a real punch, like a punch. You know what I'm talking? Like striking a bag, because throwing a punch is the same as throwing a foot. It's the same exact movement as throwing a football. Okay. Because where does your leverage and power come from? Your body, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not using your body when you throw, then you're probably going to struggle getting velocity. You can hear, I always get that all the time. How do I get my arm stronger? Well, throw with your body. Use your body. And I read something in TB12's book. Tom Brady was talking about 10 years ago or whatever, how his elbow was hurting and the back of his shoulder was hurting. And he asked his trainer, how in the heck, why, what am I doing? I'm tired of my elbow hurting. I'm tired of all this stuff going on, and a little bit of pain that I'm dealing with. And his trainer basically said, yeah, you got to learn how to throw with your body, like throw a punch. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and
sir.
so that's what I teach guys. We were literally, before we even throw, we will get in a boxing position, and I will have them throw, I'll hold my hand up just like you were hitting a bag. You know what I'm saying? So you can understand rotation. You know what I'm talking about? Like to being able to rotate and have your hips and, you know what I'm saying, and your body
Yes.
work with your arm. And so, I mean, I could do a whole session sometime, a video session of throwing. I could show you videos of guys throwing wrong, and I could break down every throw. And I don't know, I talk about a 90-degree angle with your arm. I don't know if you can see my arm, but you always want your arm to be at 90 degrees, right? So even if I'm a guy that I teach throwing, I don't like guys to reach back and then, kind of drop their arm and then kind of reach back. I try to get the arm to go up at 90 in one. If you saw that picture of Jack that you showed me,
Yes.
he said his arm's kind of at a 90-degree angle there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
And
sir.
so the minute your arm gets back too far, now it's behind your body. You see what I'm saying? Like you're not going to knock me out punching me if you've already if your arm is way back here and you've already stepped forward. You can't hurt me. But if you have everything coming at this, if you know what I'm saying, if you're using your body as you throw and you're just rotating and your arm just rotates forward, now you've got all that power from your hips, from the ground, from your hips and from your core. That's what you really throw with. Your arm is just, it's just the whip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then once you kind of learn where your arm slot should be, and extension and pronation, and I see guys all the time when they throw. I just see which direction they go, and they go up. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell guys, don't bend your knees too low before the throw, because the only direction you can go is what? Up. Right? You want to stand a little bit taller and go down, right? If you punch me and want to hurt me, you're not going to spring up on your tippy toes to punch me. You're going to go which direction? Down.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so I would tell the young man, go learn how to throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? Go work on, find a guy that understands that rotational movement, and strengthen all those things in your body that helps you rotate. You know what I'm saying? Swing a baseball bat. Swing a baseball bat, throw a punch. And then from there, you're gonna understand how you get velocity on the ball. If I have the ball right by my ear, like when I let go of the football, if it's right, I have way more power there than I do if I've got my arm way back here and try to throw it. Reach way back, right? If you put your arm way back there, you lose leverage, right? If your arm, once you get to that throwing position, you want your arm and body attached, so you have leverage, to really throw it. So I get that question all the time about how to get my arm stronger and how do I throw harder. Well, a lot of pull-ups and push-ups aren't going to hurt you, because you're going to get, you want to get that strong. But get with somebody that can teach you how to rotate and throw a punch, and watch what happens. You're going to get it. It'll start to make sense. And I don't post a lot of videos of guys throwing. You can go to I don't post a lot of stuff. First of all, I kind of like to have what I do kind of my own deal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need people up there trying to like nab it or critique it. He's wrong. And you know what I'm saying? Because I know I know what I know, and I understand throwing. I understand all that. I understand rotational force. I get it. I was just with a really highly respected guy here in Arizona he's just nothing but a movement guy. And I send a lot of my quarterbacks to this guy, and he teaches that kind of stuff. So once they get on the field, they understand what I'm talking about. Yes. So I understand it. I can see when someone's moving their head. I can see when your arm's back too far. I know why your throw is how it is. I can look at it in 2 seconds, tell you what you're doing wrong. I'll video you, and then we'll sit down. I'll show you within 2 minutes of 3 throws of all the things that you're not doing right, that if we can correct those things, you're going to be a better thrower.
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness. Oh my God. Coach, you are a brainiac. I'm sitting here just taking it in like yum, yum. You know something? I am going to look at a quarterback and I'm like, he's doing that wrong. Since
you'll be able to
taught me that.
Watch Tom Brady throw the football. Go watch his lower body. Watch the rotation. It looks like he's punching somebody, and people say, well, this quarterback doesn't do it. Pat Mahomes throws. Yeah, but he's Pat Mahomes, right? How many Pat Mahomes are there? I mean, that's what I say. Look, let's just break it down. This is the way I'm a big Brady fan just because I'm a big mechanics fan. Right. And I always say, can Tom Brady scramble? No. Have you ever seen Tom Brady bootleg and sprint out? And no, right? Because but he's been in 10 Super Bowls and won 7, right? So the guy that can't scramble is probably the least athletic guy out of all. Why? Well, it's really good mechanics, right? Yeah. Really, he's really good at throwing. You know what I'm saying? Right? So we can't all be Pat Mahomes. But if you really even go watch Pat Mahomes and these guys throw all these awkward throws, they're not throwing it with their arm clear out sideways. It's still kind of attached to their body, right? So they can turn and use their body when they make these throws. So they're still using their arm angle might be a little bit lower, but they're still using their body and their core to make that happen. Because there's not too many people strong enough to have their arm clear out to the side and throw it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I think what kids see, and guess what? We work on those throws. We work on throwing it from a low angle and throwing it around a soccer goal or in between the soccer goal. You know what I'm saying? We work on all kinds of things, but you still have to know how to use your body to do it. You know what I mean? So your body is very important. It's the number one thing. If you can't use your body, then you're gonna struggle. So go get in the gym and start throwing some punches and watch what happens.
I might have to join the gym because you make me want to do it. I mean, right. I have never thought of throwing a football the way you just broke it down. It just
what do they call it? They call it throwing a punch, right? Yeah. And what do they call it? Throwing a football. So you throw a football and you throw a punch. So it's got to be something similar, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. Right. All these other guys that tell you, well, you got to do this with your arm and you practice on your knees and man, just go learn how to throw a punch, man. Right? Rotation. Go learn how to really throw a punch and watch what happens. Because now that rotation that you use to throw a punch, use that same rotation when you throw the football and watch what happens. You're going to be a different thrower. It'll help. Yeah, it'll help. Yeah. Man, I'm big on that. My guys will line up, we'll warm them up, and then they'll get with their partner, and their partner will hold their hand up, and then they'll get in a boxing stance, which is very similar to a quarterback stance, right? And they'll throw a punch. They'll rotate, because when you throw a punch, as you throw a punch, you're going to keep your left hand, your off hand isn't going to open up because you're going to get punched in the face. It's going to stay here, right? It's going to stay closed. And then when you punch, what are you going to use? You're going to use your hips, your body, right? So when we throw, we always try to tell our guys, keep your off arm close inside here, because you don't want to open your off arm up, because now you're losing power, because you're opening. When a figure skater goes really fast, where are their arms? They're in tight. Yeah, they're locked in. They're locked in. So when they want to slow down, what do? They slowly move their arms out to slow down. So what are you trying to create? Power, and you're trying to create rotation. You want to stay nice and compact. You don't want to swing your arm out. You get what I'm saying, and open yourself up. So there's a lot of similarities in throwing a punch to the same kind of throwing a football, things that you're trying to do. Yeah.
Coach, you have dropped some knowledge tonight, man. I swear to you. I mean, I am going to look at.
I'm going to tell you something kind of funny. So when I grew up, you played 3 or 4 sports. You know, this is 1977. I'm going back. I'm going in a way back machine. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was a college football coach, but he was an offensive and defensive line guy. He played at University of Arizona. But the one thing he made me play baseball. And think about baseball. When a baseball player swings a bat, what's he using?
Yeah.
His hips, right? But my dad threw me into boxing when I was 10 and just wanted me to learn how to, to throw a punch and get tougher and go get hit in the head if you know what I mean? And toughen you up. But I put together all the things that I learned as why there weren't quarterback trainers when I grew up. You know what I'm saying? You just, but all the things that I learned from swinging a baseball bat, boxing for 3 years, it all tied into throwing a football. Do you see what I'm saying? It was all connected. And I played baseball and I played catcher a little bit. I played some catcher and I played some shortstop and but whenever I caught, you think about when you catch, a catcher doesn't reach his arm way back, right? A catcher has to have it, right? And so when a catcher, it was like, if you can see my arm here, so you would throw, if you're going to try to throw someone out, you're not going to reach way back here to throw them out. You're going to be late, right? Mm-hmm. So the catching, where it's like at a 45-degree angle by your ear, all I did was move it to 90. So right there. So that's where you throw a football from, right? That 90-degree angle right there. And so all those things, those sports that I played probably are what taught me how to throw. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like anybody, I never saw a quarterback trainer. They didn't exist. You know what I mean? Like you just didn't see that guy. And so yeah. But anyway, you watch guys like Dan Marino throw, go watch guys like, they didn't reach way back. It was just poof. It was just up and out. You know what I'm saying?
He had a cannon. Cannon.
But why? Think about, if he reaches his arm clear backwards, he's not going to have nearly the velocity he is if he just gets it up here, right by his ear hole and then throws that punch. You know what I'm saying? It's going to, poof. It's going to, So, a lot of times we look at all these go back and watch some of these older guys throw it, and you'd be like, wow, golly, I never thought about that guy's mechanics are really, really pretty special, right? I mean, how they throw. So, but I mean, when you really break it down, I mean, it's pretty, the way I teach throwing, I try to make it to where guys understand where their leverage is, where their power comes from. I'm not into all these new fads of, your arm goes here and then it's got to go here. And then no, man, just, you know what I mean? Like put the ball right here by your freaking ear hole right here and just rotate and throw the thing. Pronate, snap your wrist down. You know what I'm saying? There's other things that go into the throw. But I love throwing. I love watching guys throw. I love to be able to video it, break it down, put it on my iPad. I use this app where I can get their arm at this, whatever angle their arm is at, and then I can draw on it and it'll tell me what degree it is, 90 degrees, 114 degrees, right? So, and I can show them, like, look where your arm is. Your arm is you're in trouble. Your arms, your body's going forward, your arm's going backwards. Now you got to try to catch up. Good luck. You're going to probably come off the ground, right? Your head's going to move. There's all these things that go into what make a really good throw and make, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I love it, man. The guys, I wear the guys out sometimes, but they know all I'm trying to do is get them better, and I'm picky, But hey, man, because so when they get in the game, they're not thinking about it; they're just playing.
They're just
you know what I mean? Let's just be picky. Let's be picky now. Let's be picky for that hour of training. If you just want to run around cones. How many times are there cones on a field? You know what I'm saying? I see all these quarterback coaches that put all these cones down, and quarterback's going through 47 cones before he even throws. You don't go through 47 cones before you throw a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't go around a cone, you shouldn't be playing sports, right? I'm not there to give you an aerobic workout. You know, we're not, right?
Right,
I mean,
you exactly
everything that I do, everything that you're going to do when we do is going to be something that you're going to do in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to
make a whole lot of sense.
It's going to be functional. Yeah, I get it. And, you know, and when we do some drills early on, it's just to get your body warm. If I got you moving and running and stepping over some things, it's not for your footwork. It's just so we can get you warm, right? Because you got to get warm before you can start really cranking it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know that like we don't even throw a ball for like the first 20 minutes. We're just getting warm. You know what I'm saying? We're just warming our body up. We might be dropping, you know, we might be doing some arm, you know, some shoulder warm ups and things like that. We're trying to get a sweat, because once we can get a sweat going, now we're warm. Now we can start slinging it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I watch the guys put these drills down and, you know, and this and that. And I'm like, man, when are you going to do that in a game? When are you going to run? You know what I mean? Like, when does that happen?
Exactly.
You know?
Man,
right?
coach.
You don't need me to run around cones. You can go get your speed and agility guy to do that. And I recommend you get a guy that can help you with that kind of stuff. I always think of footwork as like 5-step drop, 3-step drop. You know, I always think of footwork more as like footwork of what ties to a throw. Because I can get guys that go, I like to go train with this guy because he works on footwork. I said, well, what's footwork to you? Oh, we do a lot of cone. That ain't footwork. You know what I'm saying? Footwork is, to me, is tying your feet up to the drop, to the route. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 10-yard out or 12-yard out, 6-step out, it's a 5-step drop, no hitch. You know what I'm saying? That's footwork. You know, footwork isn't running around. Now, do we do some stuff? Do like I said, do I totally not do? And the other thing, when I do use cones or do little small hurdles, it's more to make you uncomfortable. It's more to get you to find your balance. You know what I'm saying? So you got to climb over some cones or go lateral over some cones and then find your balance at the end of it, you know, to keep you, you know what I mean? It's more to like, are you going to look down at the cone or are you going to keep your eyes up? You know what I'm saying? It's not because I want your feet to get good. You know what I'm saying? Your feet should already be good.
Right. Coach, you make so much sense. That I have never thought of that. You know, I thought people, you know, I heard Devontae Adams say the same thing. He said, why should I run cone drill? I don't do that in the game. I run routes like I'm going to do in the game.
Right.
And you saying that is just like, there you go.
But, you know, like, look, and here's the deal. I'm not here to tell you I'm a better trainer than anybody or any of that kind of stuff. Cause you know, I respect everybody that has their gig. But what I will tell you is I see a lot of guys that they because the parents are watching and they throw a lot of cone and like, man, all you did was give the guy a work. All you did was give him get his heart rate up. You didn't even teach him how to throw. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? But it looks good to the parent. Oh, he's being busy right now. Oh, he's running around these cones and yeah, but did he get any better throwing? You know what I'm saying?
He just
He get any better throwing. I get kids come to me all the time. I said, did your guy ever video you and show you your emotion? No. And well, go get your money back then. Because if you were with the guy for a year and never saw yourself on video, what the hell is that all about? I'm gonna video you every day, at least a few throws, so you can see yourself. You know, here's what you look like. Here's what you were doing on Monday. Here's what you're doing on Wednesday. Here's what you did last Monday. You know, where can you improve? You know, and then I've got all the things that I do when I see a problem. I have a drill to fix it. You know what I mean? I have a way to fix it. You know, or at least you know. I do. I really feel like I have it. You know, I got a guy here from Idaho State right now in town, and played at Wyoming after Josh Allen played. Now he's at Idaho State. He's been down here for 4 days. And while we were on the phone, his offensive coordinator just sent me a text. But he called his OC last night and said, this guy showed me more in 4 days about throwing because I had no idea all the things that I was doing wrong. He put me on video. This is the quarterback talking to the OC. Showed me drawing angles on my arm, showing my head moving, showing my foot off the ground. And then not only did he show me what I was doing wrong, but he showed me how to fix it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to tell you what you're going to do. It's okay. I can tell you what you're doing wrong, but can you fix it? You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys can tell you what's wrong, but can you fix it? Do you have drills for him to fix it? Do you know how to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's where I think I excel at, you know, like you're not going to come to one of my workouts and go, oh man, look at those nifty drills they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you're going to see dudes holding the ball in one hand, dropping back, already in position of 90, ball's already up. They're going to drop, turn, you know, I got some, think about it. You know, it's like a basketball player, or a good shooter. I bet you he can tie his left hand behind his back and and shoot the hell out of it with his right, you know, without using the other hand. Well, I do the same thing with throwing. You can't touch the ball with your left hand. Your ball's up in your right up here in this 90 position. You got to hold it there through the drop, turn and throw it. You know what I'm saying? Can you control the ball? Just like as a basketball shooter, can you control the ball? Right? It's all about control. And if you have bad mechanics, you're not going to be able to control the ball. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm all about it, you know?
Coach, you make a whole lot of sense with that, Coach. Another subject I want, this logo behind me. What do you come up with this scheme of quarterback coach? Like,
well, about 5 years ago, I was approached by my business partner, and his son was training with me. He was a sixth grader, fifth grader, and he had Elevate Academy, and they did like sports, speed and agility, and they did some. Yeah, I think they had a club basketball, and he said, hey, you know, he's like, would you come and be part of our deal, you know, and it'll be your thing, but you know, it'll be Elevate and Mike Giovandos QB Academy. And I was like, absolutely, you know, sure, cool. Because it's Mike, you know, and I like the Elevate and I liked it, you know, and so that's kind of how that happened. So his name is Dwayne Milner. Well, his son, Kai Milner, is battling for the job at Cal with Jack Plummer. He's a freshman.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
So man, they're gonna elevate each other. Man, look at you.
Guys, and Kai is smooth as silk now, man. This guy's got a sweet stroke. And so anyway, that's kind of and you know, I've been partners with the guy and he's a great guy and you know, we've been friends for 7-8 years, and his son's going to be another NFL quarterback, I guarantee you, once he gets his time on the field at Cal. He's definitely the future of Cal. He's a stud. He can spin it. And so I really believe in the next 5 years, I'd say even 4 years, I believe that Elevate, our guys, will have at least 5 to 6 guys in the NFL. Nice. And look, I don't go out and troll people on Twitter to come train with me. I train you. These are all Arizona guys. So by the way, we have 22 Division I quarterbacks right now, 22 out of Arizona. I have another 15 to 16 that are D2 and D3 and NAIA. So that's almost 38 quarterbacks over right now, currently in college. Just this year, we got an Idaho State commit, West Virginia commit, Kansas State commit, Lehigh commit, and a Northern Arizona commit, just in the class of 22. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So class of 23, we just had a commit to Boise, CJ Tiller. We got another one out here named Devin Dampierre. That's teetering on a few, you know, trying to figure out what he wants to do, where he's going to go. We got a kid named Brendan Anderson, Chris, we got some dude. We'll probably have another 4 or 5 Division I, Division II quarterbacks in the 23 class. And we have the number 1 class of 24 quarterback that trains with us. His name's Dylan Raiola. Dylan's dad played center for the Detroit Lions. So Dylan's 6'3", 220-pound, 15-year-old. He's got offers from Georgia, Oklahoma, you name it, USC, anybody. He's got them all. Penn State, Oregon. So Dylan Dylan I've had him since he was in 8th grade, 7th grade. And this kid's a monster. So, we should have, and, right now we got quarterbacks at Florida. Jack Miller's at Florida. Like I said, Oregon, Ty Thompson works out with us. Got 21. It's crazy. And they're not kids. And they're all local. They're local guys. You know what I mean? I like I said, I don't troll people. Hey, come train with me. I don't need to. You know what I mean?
You speak for yourself. You speak for yourself.
Well, and if someone wants to fly down and train with me, I'm happy to do it. I love working with anybody I can work with, and I enjoy it. And but we get to train year round here in Arizona, and I think that's another big part of why we've had so much success. Is you got really good weather, and then you've had guys that are these young kids see, wow, man, look at. And I'm not the only one that trains quarterbacks. There's a couple other guys there. They do a good job. They put guys out as well. They do a good job. I'm not the only one, but because I do it full time, I have the opportunity to put more guys out there. Because it's a full time gig for me. But we have another one at San Diego State named Will Haskell. Oh, this kid's going to be something else, man. William Haskell. But we got some dudes I'm super excited about. But, I mean, I can look in the mirror and go, man, we got 22, 35, 36, 37 guys that get to go on and play college football right now.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Amazing. That's amazing.
Right.
That's amazing.
And then out of those 37, I bet you we get 4 or 5, maybe 6 NFL guys out of that group. Crazy. Man. Crazy. Oh, and that's just not me. I mean, look, I'm just blessed enough to be able to have the opportunity to work with these guys. You know what I mean? And share my knowledge. And you know what? They believe in me. They trusted me. They know what I'm telling them is, and I care. They're my guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not trying to use them for my own benefit. I'm not trying to, look at me, look at who I train and, post them. I don't do that. You can go look at my Twitter. You can go see our Instagram. Yeah. It's not how I am. No. You know what I mean? We promote the guys. I don't promote myself. We promote the guys. We promote the kids, and the work they're doing. That's what we're proud of, more than anything.
And from what you speak, Coach, you are you're a proud papa, man. You're a proud papa.
I am. My son decided, I have a son that's 21, 22, and he never played sports. He was more of a musician. That's cool. Right on. I'm glad he kind of took that road. He likes music and art and things like that. I have that side of me, like I told you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's the route he went. So people are like, are you ever bummed out your son didn't play? I'm like, you know what? He never really showed any interest in it. So I wouldn't want to force him into something that he didn't want to do. And he's a heck of an artist and guitar player. My daughter's a chef. And I've got my kids do well. I'm pretty proud of them. But I'm like, I get to coach 120 quarterbacks a week. I got plenty of quarterbacks I get to watch and work with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Less pressure on my son too, right? Less pressure, Go be whatever you're gonna do, man, go be good at it. Go be good at it. Don't matter what you want to do, just go figure out how to be good at it.
Coach, that's amazing, Coach. That is so amazing, man. You are the dude, man. I have to give it to you. I mean, what I have sat here in the last past hour listening to you talk, you have taught me more about quarterbacking than my whole life. I thought I knew stuff. I don't know squat.
Well, guess what? I know I don't know everything, and I'm always asking questions. I'm always watching quarterbacks. I'm always I'm always because I love just to learn, man. I love to watch it. I love to go. I don't know, and once you think you know everything, then you may as well just quit because you're never gonna be any good. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't realize that, hey, I got a lot more. I can learn. I can keep learning no matter how long this goes on. I mean, I learn from guys all the time. It might just be one little thing that I pick up, even if it's not about throwing. Maybe it's about leading. Maybe it's about you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's about a defense. Maybe it's about a concept, you know, that I didn't know, play concept or something. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? You know, I'm still trying to learn more and more about throwing. You know, how can I get really good at this? You know, but I've been doing it a long time now. I really can look at somebody throw, like I said, and video them and kind of figure out what we got to fix pretty quick. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm gonna give you those tools. But if you don't go home and do that, put that time in on your own, you're not working on those, then you're wasting your time coming back to me the next week. Just waste of time. You know, because, you know, when I played the piano growing up, my mom was a piano teacher. Funny thing is, she didn't teach me to play the piano because she knew that if she was the teacher, I wouldn't practice. So they paid another lady to teach me because now they were because now I better practice. They're paying her to teach me. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Right.
And the time, I remember the times that I would go to my piano lesson. And look, that was kind of hard. You know, I wanted to be playing basketball that hour, but I would ride my bike past basketball court and I have my piano books in my hand and go to the lady's house. And then after I got done, I'd go play basketball with my buddies. But, you know, it was funny because I would show up to the lady's house. And if I didn't practice, she'd go home. Go home. You're wasting your time. You didn't practice. You didn't do the things. You didn't work on the scales or, you know what I mean? Like, why are you coming here? Go home. And it's just kind of the same thing. Like, man, if you don't want to practice it, you know, you want to give me your money, that's fine, you know, but go home. I don't want it if you're not going to practice at it. You know, I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I do this for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, it's my job, but I mean, if you really want to sit down and find out my rates compared to some of these other guys' rates, I'm way underpriced. But that's okay because I train a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I train a lot of guys. And I don't, you know, need to take advantage of people or try to do that. There's no reason for that. But like I tell these young kids all the time, don't come here if you're not going to go put the time in away from here. You're just wasting your time. You know? Okay, coach. And you can kind of see the guys that work on it, you know, and that's another thing about being accountable, being responsible. You want to be a quarterback and you don't want to practice? You don't want to go put that time in? How can I count on you when it's 3rd and 5 to do the right thing?
You can't
count on you. You know what I mean? There's no counting on you. Oh, so there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot to being exception, you know, to being, I don't know how you want to say it, you know, to being an elite guy. So, there's a lot that goes into it, you know, a lot that goes into it. So I try to teach those lessons as much as I can, you know. You know, sometimes people know I'm about to get on them a little bit, but I'm like, that's just coming with territory. My dad used to always say, like, don't ask the question if you don't want to hear the answer, right? Don't ask me a question. You know, you're going to really sit down. Well, how's my son doing? If you're not prepared for the answer, don't ask me the question.
There you go.
Right?
Hey, you gotta tell the truth. I mean, if I got a son. If my son is not cutting it out and he's not putting in work, I want you to tell him, like, hey, I'm like, all right, yeah. He told me that.
Right.
He told me.
Otherwise, what you're gonna, you know, I'm just wasting your time and his time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not what you're paying me for. You're not paying me to waste your time.
No.
Or waste this. I ain't babysitting. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You know, don't say, if you want him to be babysitted and you don't care, then all right. Just let me know up front. Because then I ain't going, guess what I'm not going to do? I ain't going to work that hard for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to work hard on your end, why you want me to work hard for you? You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Right? I mean, it goes both ways. You know, it goes both ways. And I'll go out of my way for you if I know you're, you know, and not only that, like I get, you know, coach, you know, kids, what do I do to be D1? And this, you know what you do? You be good. You be really good on Friday night. You get really good film. You know what I'm saying? your body, you got to have, you got to make sure your body looks the part. You got to make all these things got to be, for me to call it Penn State for you, it better be really good because no, right?
Right.
'Cause
That is facts, Cole.
I'll call Coach Jurisic right now. Coach Jurisic, my guy. I love him. We're good friends. And I'm going to call him and say, hey, this kid here, I ain't going to waste his time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He can be like, I like Gio, but man, this dude be sending me some guys that never. I'm not going to do that. When you're ready, I'll make the call, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're a dude,
you
dude. You have that potential to be a dude, because some guys are young still, and you can just see it. I'll make the call for you. Hey, I got a young cat. I think he's got a shot. You know what I mean? But you still got to develop a little bit. And I feel comfortable about that. But when you get these guys that just think that just because they were the starter on their varsity team or something, and that they should be a Division I quarterback. Do you know what a Division I quarterback looks like? Or, like an elite guy looks like? They're not just recruiting everybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes you get a little bit of, people can become a little bit delusional because it's your kid. I get that. I understand that. But I'm not gonna call up a record company right now and say, geez, my son's ready. No, he needs to work and, put some demos out there and work at his craft and record a bunch of bad songs before he records a good song. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go put your time in, man. And that time is not only with me, that time is in the weight room. That time is with the, your agility guy. That time is with your, getting into class. That time is learning. You don't love football, don't play quarterback. Please don't play quarterback, because it's not going to work. You know what I mean? You can't not want to be all about football and you know what? We were talking about this the other day. You probably know this as being an athlete too. Like, training, to me, like when you're training isn't really supposed to be fun, right? Training is training. Training is work.
It's work.
The game is fun, right? The game is fun. Practice really isn't supposed to be fun, right? Practice is supposed to suck. And then you get to play, and then the game is, that's fun. We're playing in the game. And a lot of these guys in the off season go play 7-on-7, and I don't see them a lot, and they're busy with their stuff. And I ask, where you been? Playing 7-on-7 before. It's fun. It's fun. Okay. So do you want to have fun, or do you want to get better? You tell me what you want to do. I'm not knocking 7-on-7, but if you're going to go play it every week because it's fun, and to me, that's all I need to hear. It's fun. Well, guess what then? You ain't ready for the next level. You ain't ready for it. Because I've never had one coach call me and say, can I please have a 7-on-7 tape? Do you got any from his 7-on-7 tape? Can I see it? Never had one coach ask me for it. Not one. So guess what? You're wasting your time having too much fun. Go have a little bit of fun, play when you can. Don't. But when I don't see you for 2 or 3 months, and then you come back to me, and all you did was get good at throwing bad for 3 months because you've been playing 7-on-7, right? Right. Because it was fun. Guess what? Then you don't want to play. It ain't supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a grind, And the things that I do, the drills that we do, they're boring, and they're tedious, and they're meticulous. Guess what? It's not fun holding the ball up here the whole time, and making sure that you're rotating right and all that. That ain't fun. Play 7-on-7 is fun. I can throw it sideways. I can throw it around my back. You know what I mean? I don't even have to take a drop. No one's going to tackle me. Right? Get out of here, man. Come on. I'm just about
the grind all the time.
You got to understand what it really takes. And what it really takes is, it's not usually fun. You know what I mean? It's not. Playing those practicing the piano was not fun. I didn't sit down there and have fun. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, you know what I mean? It wasn't fun. You know what though? When I can play any song I hear on the radio, when I can play, and when I know chords now, and I can sit down and hear something and play it, that's cool. That's fun.
Cool.
Guess what?
That's
I know
awesome.
exactly what that chord progression is, and I know where those chords are. You know what I'm saying? Because I put in the time. You know what I mean? I put in the time.
That make a lot of sense, Coach.
And that's where I kind of get that question a lot about 7-on-7. And not that I dislike it, I don't, but I always tell guys it's a drill in practice, and you're going to probably only do it for about 12 minutes, if that, in college, right? You're going to get maybe 10 minutes of 7-on-7. That's it. Why? Because it's not real, right? There's rushers, there's blitzers, there's, you know what I mean? It's not flag football, touch football. It's, and that's what, but I get it. And the 7-on-7 thing has kind of become like AAU basketball to me. Like, it's just like, it's, you know what I mean?
It's
which is fine. I'm not going to knock it because people are, oh, Gio, you hate it. No, I hate it if it consumes you for 3 or 4 months and that's all you do. And you come to me and you're wondering why you're not any better than you were. And then nobody's beating down the door to recruit you because your throwing motion really isn't where it should be, or you're not as big, your body you're not working on your body. And you know what I mean? Like that's where I'm like, why were you gone every weekend doing this? It's fun. It's fun. I love that word. It's fun. No, it's not supposed, man, getting better ain't supposed to be fun, man. It ain't. It's supposed to be a pain in the neck, right? It's supposed to be a grind. So, and I'm a little old school, man, but that's just how it's brought up. And you know what? I'm not for everybody. I always say that, right? Right. I may not be your cup of coffee. That's okay. I'm cool with that. But most people getting around me, they kind of like me. You know what I mean? They kind of get it. They're like, dude's a little different, but man, he tells the truth.
Hey, that's what you want. That's what you want.
And he ain't gonna waste my time, and he ain't gonna take my money and tell me how great I was and guarantee me things that can never happen, because I ain't gonna do that. Because that's a bunch of baloney. You know what I'm saying?
I love baloney.
Right? I'll guarantee you this. I ain't guarantee you anything. I can guarantee you this though. If you have some talent and you work with me and we got that relationship, I'm gonna make you better. I'll promise you that. I'm gonna make you better. You know what I mean? What happens after that, man, that's up to you. I'm not gonna be on that field Friday night. That's up to you. You know what I mean? What decisions you make off the field, what decisions you make in the classroom, that's up to you. Right? You can be dumb and stupid and do dumb stuff and be a great quarterback, and you're screwed. You better like school enough to have the grades. The first thing you're gonna ask me, what kind of grades is he? Secondly, you ask me what kind of kid he is. What is it? What you like? What kind of guy is he? He's a good dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be like, man, we really like. They're only asking me those questions right off the bat because they already like how he throws. Right? They like how he throws. They wouldn't ask me. Right? So they're like, man, I like this kid. He looks good. What kind of grades he got? Okay. What kind of kid is he? What kind of leader is he? Is he, how does he act? Or, is he, those, and if those two things are out of line, I don't care how good you are, right? You got no shot. You got no shot. So you gotta be smart, man. You gotta really, like I said, you gotta live it, man. You gotta live it. If you want it. And most of these guys you see, these guys that are, these college guys, and they're good dudes, man. And they had the grades and they did the things that it took to get there. You know what I mean? So, there's not a whole lot of knuckleheads playing quarterback in the NFL, right?
No.
You guys do some dumb stuff. Everybody does everybody has something they wish they didn't do. I'm never going to judge somebody because we've all been there. We've all had bad judgment at times, but you're not going to, even if you are a knucklehead, you ain't going to last very long, right? You ain't going to last very long.
No, not at all.
Because
I'll get kicked out.
Yeah, are you just going to, right. So, there's so much, there's so many things you try to mentor these guys about, making right decisions and shoot, being a good student, man, taking care of your body and, getting enough sleep, getting the right nutrition, making sure you're putting that work in. And, and then look, some guys are just blessed being 6'4", 6'2", 6'3", and they're naturally, and there's guys that are a little smaller, but look, I've got 2 guys right now that are being heavily recruited, and they're both under 5. They're both under 6 foot. I got a kid named Damon Williams who's got offers from UCLA. Great kid. He's gonna be a junior next year. He's not 6'2", or got a kid named Devin Dampierre who just won the state championship this year for Saguaro. 5'11" kid, studs, great students, great kids. They can run a little bit, but their mechanics, what helps them being, obviously, like I always say, if you're going to be 5'11" or 5'10", you better be able to move a little bit, right? You better have that, right? You better have that, though, right?
You gotta have that going on.
Yeah. Well, these 2 guys got it going on. But what happens a lot of times, guys that have that going on can't throw well, right? You know what I mean? They trade one for the other. And you always get that label as he's an athletic quarterback or he's a dual threat. No, dual threat's fine, but I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be more of a throwing threat than you are a running threat if you're one of my dual threat quarterbacks. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not going to be he can run and then throw. It's going to be he can throw and run, not run and throw. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like a lot of that dual threat, a lot of that speed stuff, that's just God-given stuff, right? You can't coach that, right? I mean, that's just in you. So like you got that 4.5, 4.4 speed, and that other guy got that 6'2", 6'3", right? So that other guy got that height, but you got blessed with but guess what? You're going to be able to do equally. Throw. You're both going to stand side by side, and it's not going to look any different because you guys are throwers first. You know what I mean? Throwers first. So, I'm not a guy that thinks you got to be the biggest guy in the world to have that chance. I mean, man, guys, there's certain programs that they want a bigger quarterback. And I tell my quarterbacks that right off the bat, they don't take 5'10", 5'11" quarterbacks. That's okay. Because there's other programs that'll love to have you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And there's other programs that don't want the 6'3" guy that runs a 4.9 40. You know what I'm saying? They want that, you know what I mean? They'd rather have a guy that maybe he's a little smaller, but fits what they do more of a movement guy, So, if you're good and you're a Division I caliber guy, there'll be a place for you. I'm saying there'll be a school that you fit into, so don't worry about all that stuff that you can't control. Only control the things you can control, right?
Exactly.
Get better, just continue to get better and better at whatever it is you need to get better at, and don't worry. Like, nice thing about being if you run a 4, you can always get a little faster, right? You can learn how to run a little faster. You may not be as twitchy as some of these other guys I got, but you can get faster, right? Run a 4. We think Plummer, Jack, he's an athletic guy. We think he could probably run a 4.7, a low 4.7, high 4.6. I think Spencer's going to go 4.6 in the 40. That's fast. That's moving.
Fast. Yeah, that's moving.
People don't realize how fast 4.6 is, right? And that tell me you run 4.4. I've seen a few 4.4s in my life. That's freaking fast. I've seen a couple of 4. That's really fast. You know what I mean? Don't tell me you're 4.3. I know what that looks, and you ain't. You know what I'm saying? Just the other advice I would give to quarterbacks is, like we're talking about here, don't get on your profile and say you're things you're not. If you're 6 foot, do not say you're 6'2". If you run a 4.8, don't say you run a 4 or 5. Just be honest, because they're going to find out. You know what I'm saying? They're going to walk up to you and go, "You ain't 6." That's another question I was asking. Is he really 6'2"? You know what I mean? Because so many kids say they are and they're not.
Have you got that a lot? Like some guy come to the program, they're like, "Oh, I'm 6'2".
Just tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the girl. It's like the girl you were dancing with, and then the lights come on. You're like, "Oh, damn."
Oh, all right.
Man, turn the lights back down. We're good, man. Right?
I know exactly what you mean.
You look good in that strobe light. Keep that strobe light on. So anytime she comes over your house, she's got the strobe light going, right? And she comes in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be honest, man. Oh man,
Oh my
I
goodness.
gotta have fun, man. I gotta laugh. I got
you are a clown, coach. You are something else, but I respect you. I respect your knowledge, man. You're very wise, and you got it, coach. I appreciate it.
Hey, we're gonna play some good music out there too. We'll keep it breezy. We play that Bob Marley out there. You know what I'm saying? We gotta keep it breezy. You know, I mean, the kids always love coming to the music. Like next thing you know, they're like, "Who was that?" Because I'm a music guy, but I love a lot of old. You know, I love like the Spinners and like I said, like Curtis Mayfield and Bob Marley. And so I mixed it up.
Yes.
I mixed it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
you like that? They're like, you're like that? I'm like, of course I'm like that. I mean, I grew up in the 70s, man. You know what I mean? Like somebody, and once they start hearing this music, they like it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They like it. And they're like, why didn't you play that rap? I go, because I don't understand a word they're saying. And you know what I mean? And like it probably doesn't really apply to me, right? But you know, this Bob Marley song, you know, could you be loved like that? Everybody loves that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Move on
Everybody
up.
love Bob. Everybody love
Move
Bob.
on up. You know, I mean, they all love it. And when they hear it, they're like, they love it. You know what I'm saying?
They love it.
That's another thing I like to do. Just like I like to educate my quarterbacks in some good music. You know what I mean? And you know, and even though that may even not be the style that I play, I mean, I love it though. You know, I mean, I love all music. You know, I love good. If it's good, it's good, right? If it's good, it's good.
Exactly.
You know, so
all
anyway.
right. Last question. Your Mount Rushmore of quarterback. Your 5 top quarterback of all time.
Oh wow, man. Love Joe Montana.
Okay.
Right. Love Tom Brady. I love Dan Marino. I mean, Peyton Manning was phenomenal. You know, a really good player. Obviously, great quarterback, Hall of Fame, first round. And you know, guy that I grew up watching when I was young was probably like Roger Staubach from the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I mean, and I you know, if you kind of look at it and there's so many guys. There's John Elway. There's, you know, Steve Young. There's so many great. I mean, I loved Michael Vick. You know, I loved, you know, all those guys. Who else was great? I mean, but that's a hard one, right? With the Mount Rushmore. But I mean, man, there was Drew Brees was, you know, phenomenal quarterback. I mean, I go back into the, the 80s. Like I said, you had freaking Joe Montana. Troy Aikman was really good. You know what I mean? Guys like that were just, man, such good players. Drew Bledsoe was a good quarterback. I mean, I've been so blessed to kind of grow up and see guys like Roger Staubach, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway. You know, like you said, then you get to see like Mike Vick, and now you guys got like a Lamar Jackson, and so many different kinds of quarterbacks that I think today's kind of interesting because they're all so different. You know what I mean? Yes. Pat Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. I got to probably put Aaron Rodgers on there. I probably was Brett Favre. It's too hard, right?
He's still alive. He's actually a USM, just coaching some kids up or down there.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. That guy.
Wow, man.
Aaron Rodgers got to be on there, man. But like you can't give me 5, man. I mean, you can't give me. I'd have to have a room full of them. But there's so many, right? So many great ones.
That's a lot of great ones. All right, Coach. For someone who's trying to get in contact with you, like the young guys want to set up something, how would they get in contact to get into your school?
I think you can go to our Twitter or even Instagram, and I think there's an email link on there. I think it's info@mikegiovando.com. And if you reach out to us or DM us through that, then you'll get a response back, and then we'll text you my number. And you know what I mean? And then it's really easy. I think you just have to go to I don't do any of those things because the Twitter, I don't get, I have somebody else that does that because I don't need, somebody told me I had I'll be honest. Somebody said, you got a good Instagram page. I'm like, really? I don't even have my password. I don't even know how to look at it. I'm not lying. My guy does a really good job.
Okay.
James Blue, he runs all my camp stuff and he's awesome. And, you know, I do my Twitter. I do know how to do Twitter. So I do most of those posts, but yeah, you just got to reach out to us. And I mean, if you ever want to come out and train, you know, man, we'll set it up so we can come out here and make it reasonable for you. And, you know, and maybe we can do this again and we can get more into like maybe looking at some mechanics and talking about, you know, throwing motion and break some stuff down. Be kind of fun. And, you know, and then you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You know, I can put up some videos for you and we can go over them.
I would love that, Coach. I swear to you, man. I mean, my goodness. I mean, my phone is blowing up. That people like this dude is crazy.
Yeah, man. No, man. I'm so glad that you know you know that you were able, you know, reach out and you know felt like you know like it was more a privilege for me to talk to you than you were privileged to talk to me, man. Believe me, I really enjoy this opportunity.
Yes.
So
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I promise you, that Coach, man, you are a wise guy, and I have a lot of young quarterbacks that comes on. They are Mississippi guys, but I'm like, dude, if y'all want to, because their parents, they're like, Reggie, you know, I don't know nobody. You know, I don't know. But now I do. And I'm like, hey, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you just send them out there because they'll pay for it.
Send it out there if you want me, you know, if you can get some really good video of you throwing from the side, from the back, from every angle, I can always analyze your video, show you what you're doing right. You know, I can break down video and just like, not necessarily in a game, but maybe just you throwing, you know, in a workout, and you get different angles of you throwing, and I can, and if you can slow those angles down and slow the motion, I can really break you down and I can really help you. If you can't do it over getting out here to Arizona and it needs to be another way, you know, there's other things we can do, you know, just through video analysis and stuff like that, help you with throwing motion.
Sweet,
you know?
sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Again, Coach, I appreciate you joining the show, and everybody loves the show. And they like it like crazy. They love it. They love it. So again, Coach,
let's do it again.
Yes, again, we will have to.
Anytime, and hey, you got a friend for life now, brother. I'm telling you, right?
Thank you. And I will be looking at your boys, Spencer Rattler, Jake.
Yeah, look at these
brothers.
Guys. We're gonna light it up.
I forgot to ask you about JJ. I forgot to ask you about McCarthy.
You know what? I got to work with JJ during COVID. And his trainer is Greg Holcomb, a good friend of mine out in Illinois. That's his main trainer. But during COVID, our state was pretty, you know, good about letting you be outside and stuff like that. So I got to meet JJ. He came down and trained with me for about a couple months during, you know, through the COVID time because he couldn't really do anything up there. And so love his trainer, love Greg. Greg always comes down and works my camps. If anybody's up in that Illinois area looking for a guy, Greg Holcomb, he's awesome. I think it's next level. He's a great guy, really good trainer. But you know, and I got respect for guys. You know, like if Greg called me and wanted me to work his camp, and I would. Greg always brings his boys down to my camp and works my camp. So, but yeah, so it wasn't like it was really weird for Greg. He was like, man, go work with Gio, man. You can get some work in, and you know, and so JJ's an awesome kid. I think he's going to do really, really good in Michigan, you know, over the next couple of years. Looking for big things from him. Just love him as a kid too. He's a great kid. So I think he's going to do big things. Yeah. JJ McCarthy. Yeah. Stud. You know, and it's like a guy, like, I don't say he's my guy because he's not. Right. He trained with me because he, you know, because it was, you know, he didn't have, but trusted me enough to come down and work with me. And his trainer trusted me enough to be like, yeah, Gio ain't gonna screw you up. Go down there and work, you know. And that's those are the kind of guys that I like to, other trainers that I like to have relationships with that aren't intimidated or how do you want to say, like, jealous or worried that you're going to try to do, you know what I mean? That's, and Greg's one of those guys where we're just cool with each other. And he's like, man, if I ever have a guy, I know Jack Plummer went up when he was at Purdue and he worked with Greg a couple times because he just wanted to get some work in. And man, that's awesome because it's a guy I know, a guy I like, and so, but JJ, look out for, JJ and look out for Will Haskell at San Diego State. He's battling for the job. A West Virginia kid we just sent to West Virginia, Nico Marchio, is a stud. He graduated early. We got a kid going to Kansas State named Adrian Lara that almost broke Spencer Rattler's records here in Arizona. He's something else, can really throw it. So it's going to be big stuff going on.
I will be on the lookout for them. Again, this is Coach Mike Gio of Elite 8 Quarterback Academy. If you want to know something about your quarterback, give it to Mike. I recommend it. Mike, again, I appreciate you. Everybody, appreciate it. We thank you. Thank you so much. I had a blast.
That was awesome. All right, we'll be in touch, man.
Yes, sir. We will be in touch. Thank you.
All right, take care. Be safe out there. We'll see you soon.
You too. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Again, everyone, this is Mr. 35 from 35 Sports. That was Mike. Mike is so wild, man. And I appreciate everything he's done. And this is if you got a quarterback, if you want him or if you want to be better, that guy, he sound like you know what he's talking about. Okay. Again, the lines are open. We appreciate everyone calling in. I've been texting in. And I thank you, again and again and again. What can we say? As Coach said, if you ain't got the Holy Trinity, if you're not a good leader, you can't throw, and you're not a thinker, you ain't no quarterback. So don't be a quarterback. Hey, no hard feelings, man. Again, I appreciate everybody coming, and I appreciate everyone being here. This was a fantastic show. I love that guy, and I gotta have him back on here. I gotta have him back on here for all of us, because the man is a genius. And the best coach are the one wired like that. The detail, Nick Saban, detail, Kirby Smart, detail. I mean, these guys, Tom Brady, mechanics. He all, like he said, he's a mechanical guy. Detail, and the stuff he was saying, I'm like, man, I never thought of that. Have you ever thought of it? Again, quarterbacks, if you want to know how to play the game, he spit out some names. If you're in Illinois area, you got his man Holcomb. If you want to go to the man himself, there he is. There he is. Again, hopefully I can get some of his guys on the show so they can tell some funny stories about it. I would love to hear that. And again, I'm going to cue the music and we're going to be out of here. Okay? Here we go.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be.